30 seconds.
All righty, thank you. And we are live on Facebook as I speak, as I talk. About ready to go live on 1190 AM KFXR. So, getting this show ready to get it rocking. Get this happen here. Get Kurt dialed in. There it goes. Turn her down. Pass it off.
Hello, this is your pilot speaking. We're currently taxiing out to the runway and getting ready for takeoff. I don't see any turbulence, and we should arrive at our destination safely and on time. Thank you for choosing the Automotive Edge Airways, and I hope you'll follow us and use our services again in the future.
Well. Let go. Maddie. Way to go, Maddie. Good morning.
I don't know how you had it. I didn't have it, so I don't know. It must be you're the problem.
She wanted to make sure I was awake and paying attention.
You're the problem.
Top of the morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show, the show that helps you with all your automotive needs. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, body shop, we're here to help for the next 4 hours, 8 to 10 here on 1190 KFXR. Then we flip over to 97.1 The Freak FM. And then you can get us on Shifting Gears, Kurt Chase Facebook page, Bo Carver Facebook page, and YouTube. And pick us up anywhere and join along.
Of course, the Automotive Edge Facebook page.
Yeah, throw that one in there too.
That's the main one.
And remember, for all your automotive needs, go to theautomotiveedge.com. That's theautomotiveedge.com. Good morning, Maddie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
She sounds excited.
Yes, she is on fire, doesn't she?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Let me put my headphones on.
She makes me want to run out there and play the game.
There you go. Hey, Maddie, how you doing?
Good morning.
Fine.
I'm fantastic.
How are you?
It's Saturday.
Good this Saturday.
Yeah, but usually about 5:45, around 6, when I have to get up on a Saturday morning, I feel the same way. So, no problem. But
well, thanks for hanging out with us. Really good week in the auto industry, depending on where you went to buy a vehicle, where the incentives and everything are. If you bought before April 1st, you probably saved yourself a ton of money. The incentives and rebates have changed a little bit, and we're going to be covering that as well as what's going on in the used car market, because a lot of people are saying that, you know, the used car market is way down, but there's a segment of the market that is way up, and we'll be covering that as well, and all the different specials that are available to you. Leasing's back, and I tell people that this is a great time to lease because, you know, we hope all the wackadoodle-doos don't get voted back in the office in November, and we get a nice clean slate, and we hope Garvey wins out in California, and Trump wins the president for me. And we do a sweep and we keep control and get things back to some kind of normalcy and get out of this craziness that's going on and all these mandates that are coming down in the auto industry, because a lot of people don't realize that the auto industry is the number one employer in the world. And when you got guys like crazy Uncle Joe there that shut down the pipeline and told all the workers, go learn how to install solar, and now you're wanting to go electric, and you're going to put hundreds of thousands of people out of business or without a job, and unemployment. It's just crazy cycle. And, you know, for me, I was having a discussion yesterday with a buddy, and I said, there's no difference from what the government's doing now than when we walk into Kroger and you have to turn in your profile, and then they tell you what you should be buying in the grocery store.
Here's your list of what you have to buy.
He goes, don't say that out loud.
It might come to
you know,
fruition.
you go by there and it does a retina scan and go, okay, Kurt, you're overweight. Go to the vegetable section.
Yeah, you can only buy from this area.
Yeah, and this big cover, like back in the days when the blue law was enacted.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden they cover all the candy and popcorn aisles when Kurt comes through. You're only allowed to shop here and get vegetables and here and get that. And I said, that's what it's coming down to, where they think that they know what's best for us when they don't. And, they're making $185,000 a year plus all the benefits.
Oh, that's just pocket change of what they make on the other stuff they get and do. Yep. And, yeah, there's no telling what they end up doing and what they have in their nest egg.
Yep. Well, good morning, Carol Coomer. Boy, she is a lady of the world. Every time I turn around, that lady's going somewhere in the world, traveling, grand kiddos, and just having a time for it. Congratulations.
That's fantastic.
Good for you. Yeah, she is doing it up. Phone lines are open, 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. But do your part and vote. I don't want to hear anybody complaining, and everybody that I lost as a friend a few years ago, I asked them, did you vote? They said no, and I said, then keep your mouth shut. And one guy really let me have it, and he goes, well, I'm going to vote this year. I said, then we'll have a conversation. But if you're not voting, keep your mouth shut.
All right.
You're the people that are sitting up at the bleachers trying to coach the game. Either get down on the field and be part of it, or sit in the bleachers and keep your mouth shut. That's all I can tell you. But we need some change. We need some big change, because this industry that I so love, and you love it, you just don't realize how much you love it until you don't have a car that you want, or things just start changing. You go, wait a minute, I only get to pick A, B, and C. What happened to D, E, F, G, H, I, J? Well, they're gone. And we need to fix that. We don't need to let that happen. And you do it through your votes.
Well, especially since being force-fed, it'd be one thing if it was just people not buying it. They don't care for it. And I believe I brought this up to you a couple of weeks ago. I went to Academy, and there was this whole rack of this particular T-shirt, and it had this zipper or something kind of like down the side over here, and nobody wanted it. It just I didn't try it on. I just didn't even want to try it because nobody's buying it. So there had to be some reason why. And I'm going, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Other stuff, they was all gone, but so that dictates what people want, and isn't that what the free market should be?
Yep. It's not about we the people. It's we the 535, and we're going to tell you what to do, and we need to fix it. And the thing about it is, you hold them accountable all the time when they make all these bad decisions and bad votes and go along with it. You start blowing up their phones and letting them have it. Wait a minute, we put you in office to take care of us, the people. And I think Warren Buffett said it right. Anytime they go above 5% GDP, you lose your job.
Yeah, we'd be replacing them about once a week.
That's all right. We'd get the right people in there. Especially when you're making, $185,000 a year plus all the perks. That's a pretty good job.
Speaking of California, we have Deg Greg. Good morning, guys, from Santa Maria, California.
Hey, Deg Greg.
Thank you for tuning in out there. How's the weather? Hope things are going good out there.
There's my buddy Ronnie Swain.
There he is. Good morning. Ronnie. He changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know Lawrence. We didn't know who that guy was.
That man can travel incognito, can't he?
He's making it happen. Well, he graduated from French High School, and, they taught him to do that.
I hear you. Well, hey, let's talk about one of the great sponsors here, Classic Kia Carrollton, and we talk about leasing. And what's great about leasing right now is a lot of them have gone to 2-year leasings that are very affordable, like the 2024 Forte LXS, their top of the line, LXS, $199 a month. $199 a month for 2 years. You're putting up your T&L and your down payment. Here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen in November. And if you got a payment of $199 a month on a 2024 Kia Forte, you've made the next 2 years pretty affordable to see what's going to happen down the road. And I always tell people that, going into an election year, leasing is a very smart thing to do because it protects you. And there's a lot of moms and dads that are looking for vehicles for their kiddos. I'm going, hey, put them in one of these 2 or 3 year leases to get them through college. And when they get out, they'll have excellent car credit, and then you can either buy the car or start another lease. There's a lot of good things that you can do. I'm a firm believer in leasing because they're all closed-end lease. When you look at the top right-hand corner of the contract, it says closed-end, meaning they can't change anything. It doesn't matter what happens to the market on the pre-owned vehicle. It doesn't matter anything because you're protected. You have your gap insurance available, standard on a lot of contracts, where if something happens to the car, you get another car, nothing out of pocket. You're deductible. Kia Forte, $199 a month. Where do you get that? Classic Kia Carrollton. I was just up there yesterday. Stop in and see the guys. Let them know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show. And if you haven't driven one, drive one. $199 a month for a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. And there's a whole lot more. When you go to ClassicKiaCarrollton.com, you'll see all their specials. And Kia got smart. You know, Hyundai and Kia, they put the big leases on their electric vehicles. And Hyundai, I think, my brother was telling me they liquidated their whole lot. Really, really cheap leasing on the electric vehicles. And now they're going, hang on a second here. We got plenty of Fortes available. Let's go $199 a month on a 2-year lease. So check it out at ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. Good morning to Cecil Ramsey.
Hey, he's down in the Golden Triangle.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cecil. Hope you're doing good over there.
Mr. Brian Bartley, loyal listener of the radio show. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody's having a good day. Going to be a nice day today outside.
It's going to be windy, though, I think.
Yeah, a little cloudy, but, I'll take it. Here in about a month, we're going to be screaming for a breeze.
I won't.
You won't?
No.
You like the heat?
I love the heat. Ty Jimmer says, good morning, my friends. 2 weeks left, so down to the wire. I told him to call in and let's talk about it.
That's right. What do we got? 2 weeks till Connor Carr
Yeah,
show.
not next Saturday, but the Saturday after next.
Wow.
It's on us, baby.
It's here. I thought about him yesterday when I was driving through Kellertown Center, and I went, it won't be long. There are going to be 10,000 people out here.
It's going to be within 2 weeks.
I love that guy. I'm telling you what, everybody needs a Ty Gemman in their life, and your world will be a whole lot better. I'll tell you that. I love him.
No doubt.
A brother from another mother. Phone lines are open, 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Okay, hang on a sec. Maddie, I want you to put a little oomph in that. Come on, fire away.
1 minute.
Yeah, you should do like those wrestler announcers. 5 minutes, 1 minute.
Yeah. Maddie's
2 minutes.
There you go.
Maddie, do you drink coffee?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Oh,
Don't drink coffee.
What do you drink in the morning?
Water.
Water. Okay.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a Red Bull.
We're going to have to get her some hydrogenated water and get her fired up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I drink tea. I can drink some tea.
There you
Usually
go.
I drink tea or water.
I started drinking that Thai tea. Oh, man, that's pretty good stuff.
Isn't it chai tea?
Thai tea, chai tea, whatever it is.
I think it's chai tea. Isn't it?
There is a Thai tea. There's also
there
a
is?
chai tea. Yeah.
So
I think the
both.
chai has the milk or something in it, which I don't care
They
for.
both have milk.
Oh,
It's
do
just
they?
2 different spices, yeah. So
Yeah.
chai is tea. So it's just, I have a chai.
Huh.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
I have a kid.
Well, hey, let's take a break. Remember, you can follow us on the Automotive Edge Facebook page, Bo's Facebook page, Kurt's Shifting Gears,
The Automotive
and
Edge and YouTube. We just added that here recently. So be sure and tell your friends and neighbors out there that if they're not part of the Facebook or that kind of social media outlet, tell them to go to YouTube. That
Yep.
way they can just jump on and do it without signing up to anything.
let's pay some bills. Don't go away. I'm Kurt Chase with the great one, Big Wheels Bo Carver. We'll be right back. Good morning, Susan Fackler. The girl I always wanted to date, never got to date.
I think I've asked her this before, and I'm sure she's answered it, but I'm going to ask it again. When I see that Ludwig on the end of it, they make Ludwig drums. I've had Ludwig drums before. They're very, very good.
Well, Susan, are you part of the Ludwig family that has to do with drums? Good morning, Tay King. Do you know Tay King? I know Tay King.
You should know her.
I do.
Where you know her from?
Well, she's part of the family.
She sure is. She's my bonus daughter, Barbie Ann's firstborn. So thanks. Hope everything's going good out there.
No,
in
she says she's
Nacogdoches.
not.
I think she's coming in this weekend, though. They're having lunch, I think, Sunday together.
Yeah,
Michael Anthony from Pittsburgh. What's going on, my brother, out there in the great state of Pennsylvania? Got the black and gold still alive out there.
Yes, Susan says she's not part of the Ludwig
Yeah.
family, but there's Susan Fackler and then her best friend, one of my good friends, Susan Whitaker. We all went to school together.
That's cool.
I want to hang out with them one time, grab lunch or dinner, and just hang out and laugh a little bit. I'm buying. Set it up, Susan.
You better get that in writing.
I don't mind buying.
We call her Tay Tay.
I know.
That's how she,
Well, I don't think I'm qualified to call her Tay Tay yet, so I just say
well,
Tay King.
her name's Tatum. But when Graham was little, we just, hard to say that those double sounds.
We got a huge Dallas Cowboy fan just joined us. Ed, my cousin up in Jersey.
Oh,
one of the
cool.
biggest Cowboy fans in the whole world. He loves everything about Texas sports and the Dallas Cowboys. Miss you, brother. I love you. And it sure would be nice to get up there to hang out. If y'all are doing a family gathering this year, you need to let me know. Melinda and I are there. And Ed, get this. Ed is a man of his word. So I met my cousin Eddie many, many years ago. We had a bet. And if the Cowboys lost to the Giants, and he was a truck driver, and he had, I think it was like 20,000+ pounds of furniture, he had to pay me double if we won, or I had to unload the truck for free if we lost. We lost.
Did you have to go up there to unload
No,
it?
so he came here.
Oh, okay.
And we took a trip to San Antonio, and we got done. And I'm living in Valley Ranch, and he drops me off. He goes, "Take care, cousin." Drives off. I make a dime. And I had the bar at the time, and so I took 4 days off to go with Eddie to unload that truck. He was a man of his word. He didn't give me a nickel. Did buy my lunch.
Well,
but
it was bad, wasn't it? Susan said she's going to set that up.
Cool. Susan, you want me to bring Bo? You want Bo to tag along?
Yes, and don't put a lot of pressure on her now. We don't want her to have to feel bad by saying, no, we don't want that little clown around.
Everybody loves Bo. All the women love Bo.
Well, I love them.
I know. I've never seen anything like it. You have your own female
1 minute.
fan club.
Hey, listen to that.
She said yes.
Oh, cool. I'd love to come. Love to be a part of that.
You can't tell him any stories, though, Susan. No high school stories.
No, I'm going to take and record. I'm going to secretly record conversation.
I used to slide notes into Susan's locker.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had those little slots.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd wait and no
Like
one was
little
looking. I'd
mailbox
slide
slot.
a little note up there. Tell her how much I
air.
liked her.
That's funny.
Yeah, she's a
awesome.
great friend, long friend. Her and her sister Danette, who's been married to Ronnie, I think, ever since high school. And then her brother Harry, who is out in Florida, and Harry used to work for my brother. And great family, good family.
What happened in high school stays in high school. I don't blame you. That's probably
Thank you, Susan.
That's probably a good move.
Yeah, when I rented the high school last year, boys come out. I was like, da. Don't.
Oh,
They weren't bad though.
I've heard some questionable stories.
September.
And we're about to be back live on
Earth,
the
Wind, and Fire, and I wish we could play more music live. We are going to change up the format a little bit because Facebook and Sony came after me. Although the music, their subscription at the studio, they don't want it coming over Facebook. So, but I'll be dancing anyway. It really doesn't matter. If you wonder what I'm dancing to, it's all in the headset.
Yeah, the radio folk hear it, but the social media sites and YouTube don't.
That's right. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Edge Radio Show. We're here to help you with all your automotive needs. And I can't believe that April is already here. Which you know what that means, don't you?
It means that the tax man cometh, and then deals start happening.
Well, we're at about 276 days till Christmas.
Oh,
Time is coming down. Well below, you just figure in a couple months, we're going to be below 200 days.
all right, how about that?
How about that?
I'm real excited.
I can't wait to put my Christmas stuff back out.
Why don't you just go ahead and do it now and save us all the headache?
No,
Save us all the, I can't wait till I put it up. I can't wait till I put it up everywhere. Just go ahead and put it up so we just, help us.
That's right.
Last night we went out and with a group that was part of Purple Haze's office, and we went to one of those breakout lock rooms, or what do you call them?
Escape rooms?
Yeah, or what?
Escape room.
Yeah, escape room. It was pretty cool. I mean, they had us in two separate rooms. There was 8 of us, 4 in one, 4 in another, and we had to work to get out of each one of our little rooms and then join forces. And We beat it by, we had about 4 minutes to spare, but it was kind of fun to do that.
Oh, that's a blast. I love those.
You know, everybody gets kind of going, I got this, I got that, I got this. But it does all come together when people start finding these pieces and everything to work. Then after that, we went to Boomer Jacks. And let me tell you, I have never been so overwhelmed by sports in all of my entire life.
Oh.
They had every game known to man going.
Sure.
They had the Rangers game. They had the Mavs game. They had the ladies.
Final Four.
They had UConn and Iowa. It was a really good game. I was watching it the whole time. Then, I don't know, I had everything going, but I was just freaking out, man.
Yeah, I should get a knock on the door a little bit after 1 o'clock today.
Oh, did you want to bet on that?
Yeah, my buddy shot his mouth off, and he said, UConn's going to beat him by 10. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take it straight up. And he goes, okay, double the bet. And I said, all right, double the bet, which he owes me money anyway. I'll be surprised if he even shows up. But it was
that first half, you probably were kind of wondering about that.
Yep.
But they came back, and good for them. They play, I believe, South Carolina for the final. And that's Sunday, right?
Yep, 2 o'clock. They've been undefeated, too. I mean, they're South Carolina rolling.
They're undefeated, South Carolina's? Well, that ought to be a good game.
So. Good morning, Tom May. Thanks for joining us here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show. Hey, this segment of the show is brought to you by Driver's Edge Auto Repair. You know, summer's fixing to be here. You know, the most important part of your car is what, Bo?
Your tires.
Your tires. A lot of people, you get out and you just kind of look, okay, there's air in them, they're good. Get your tires checked. There's nothing worse than going down on the highway or being on vacation or anywhere for that matter, and your tires going out. They sell tires and they'll beat any price in town. But here's the deal. Let them go through your car. They don't winterize. They don't summerize. They only do the work that's needed. And they're going to take care of your car. My son just brought his car over, and he did an oil change and a tire rotation. Then they gave him a list of things to take a look at. They said, hey, pretty soon you're going to need to flush your radiator. You need to look at this in the next 5,000 miles. It was perfect. Exactly the way a shop should be taking care of each and every consumer. They've been a sponsor of the show for 20 years and 4 months. And there's a reason why it's the way they do business. If you go to mydriversedge.com, that's mydriversedge.com, take a look at their website. They got a bunch of discount coupons. And for people that go, I don't have that kind of money, they've got a finance program for you. You can pay it off at a certain point with no interest. If it goes over, obviously you're going to pay a little bit of interest on it, but they got all sorts of ways to help you. The place, mydriversedge.com, 22 locations for you. All right.
Yeah, good luck on the game.
Yep. Good luck on the game, Susan. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. So I had a really good conversation. I was sharing it with Bo earlier. I had a gentleman call me yesterday, and we had an hour-long conversation. Really a good conversation. No cursing, no yelling, no you're an idiot, no you're a bigger idiot. It was just a really good conversation about electric vehicles, and he goes, I want to let you know I'm a Democrat. I'm a diehard Democrat, and I always vote Democrat no matter what. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I mean, you're loyal to your party, you know? And he said everything's been done right with this move to electrification. I said, well, I highly disagree. And he goes, well, they just put up $5 billion for charging stations across the United States. Well, they didn't. This was over a year ago. And he goes, that's correct. And I said, well, how many have they built? He goes, well, I don't know. I said, they built the most expensive stations in the world. He goes, how do you figure? I said, so they appropriated $5 billion for the charging stations, and they've only built 4, which puts them at $1.25 billion apiece. He goes, that's not correct. So I told him where to go look at it, and he did, and he's like, oh, boy. And I said, what causes more pollution? A brand new 2024 Honda Accord or brand new Tesla? Which one causes more pollution? He goes, by far, the Honda Accord. I went, really? Well, let's break this down. And so once we got done, I got a message. I guess I need to do better homework and research.
Especially when you call about cars on the Automotive Edge with the Kurt Chase.
Yeah, and not that I'm always right, but I'm very passionate about.
But you studied this
industry.
A lot because of you have to know about it because there's issues with it. And, the government has just crammed it down our throats, saying this is the only way to go, save the world, save the children, be carbon neutral by such and such time, which is not going to ever happen. So,
well, nobody knows what carbon neutrality is. They think, here's the thing, if you take the CO2, guess what? We all die. The plants die, we die, there is no growth. They don't even know what they're talking about. It was Al Gore, who couldn't become president, ran around and he started the Chicken Little syndrome about pollution, and everybody bought into it. They paid him millions and millions of dollars to go everywhere and speak. And guess what? He didn't know what he's talking about, had no background on it, but he found this little niche that everybody bought into, and now they're still pushing Al Gore's agenda. Think about that. He ran against Bush 3 presidencies ago, 4 presidencies now. And they're still pushing his agenda, which is totally false. Totally false, 100%. And I can back up everything I'm saying. You want to chat? 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. You think about this, and then we're going to get off the subject. These trucks that they want to become electrified require 3 8,000-pound batteries, some 4. So that's 32,000 pounds of battery. So you're going to have to reduce the amount of cargo the truck carries. It's going to take 2 additional trucks to make up for the batteries on the truck. Then you have to charge them, and then you have to have charging stations all along the highways to get the goods out. So you're having to add more trucks, and these trucks are anywhere from $600,000 to $1 million. Plus, you got to have the infrastructure, and then the cost of goods are going up. Plus the wear and tear on the highways.
And what does it take to charge a 4-battery truck?
Well, here's a great answer. There's a company in California that said we're going to take our trucks and we're going to go by. We're going to play by the rules. They took the trucks and they plugged them up, and they were draining the city's power. And the city went, "This isn't going to work." And guess what? The trucks are sitting stagnant.
There, just collecting.
They're charging
dust.
one at a time. Then they fill up, put the next truck over. I'm going, this, and nobody is really getting what's going on. So you have a truck that can carry less, so they need more loads, they need more trucks, more wear and tear on the infrastructure. But here's the thing. They need bigger, heavier tires. And you go, well, what's the big deal with bigger, heavier tires?
Because of the weight of the batteries.
Well, think about
Part
this.
of it, isn't it?
What do tires do over time?
Well, they wear.
They wear. And where does that rubber go?
It goes out in the atmosphere.
The atmosphere, the roads,
land.
everywhere. It's a pollutant.
Correct.
So you're putting more trucks with bigger, heavier tires that are going to tear down, become bigger pollutants than what we have right now. So we've put the cart in front of the horse and go, just make it work, America.
Yeah, no matter
with
what.
People, I mean, you have bartenders in Congress telling us what we should be driving. Think about that for a minute. And everybody's buying into it. Don't buy into it. Get out and vote. If you don't vote, keep your mouth shut. If you do vote, let's rock and roll, get the right people in, and keep the largest employer in the world, the auto industry, viable. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. I'm Kurt Chase with the man, the myth, the legend, Big Wheel Bo Carver. We'll be right back.
And Facebook, thanks for being with us, as always, every Saturday morning. We got people tuned in. We do appreciate that. We're on Talk Radio 1190 AM, and that's KFXR out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And we're on now the Facebook page, the Automotive Edge Facebook page, Shifting Gears Facebook page, my personal page, Bo Carver, and Kurt Chase personal page, and the big muscle one fixing to grow big time is YouTube. Join us on YouTube. That's the Automotive Edge Radio Show. You got to do the Automotive Edge Radio Show on YouTube. Lock it in, like it, and then you'll get notifications when we're on there. So we appreciate that, because there's a lot of people that don't do social media.
Yep.
Especially they've gotten really fed up with a lot of the sites, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, all these. They get kind of fed up with the way they get kind of stopped with their feeling of what they can say, so they kind of move on. But YouTube, you can go there and not be a sign in or be a part of any particular, where you get all your data out there. You can just go to YouTube and watch the show by searching the Automotive Edge Radio Show.
Yep.
So,
James Garrett is joining us, and I got to tell you a little something about James. I don't think I've ever seen the guy work hard his whole life. And so he knows we're coming over. So what does he do? He runs around the house about 10 times if he can run that far, and then he starts the lawnmower. And then he walks over to me like he's been outside really busting grapes.
Got a little water on it.
Yeah, and I'm going, dude, there's no way. Oh, yeah, I'm out here doing all this hard, heavy yard work. I'm like, you are kidding me. I'm like, he wasn't fooling anybody.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's the way to work it, though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like our government.
And so here's Melinda. Oh, look at James out here working so hard. I'm like, he ain't working hard.
Heath McClendon, my cousin from Beaumont, Texas. Good morning, Heath. How's racing going? Sprint car racing. Hope y'all doing good out there and winning some races.
I didn't realize how many of the NASCAR, Indy people, everybody.
They love that.
We're in sprint car racing.
Oh, they love dirt.
The dirt track.
Oh, they love it. I love it too. We should go out and do a show one time out with it. Of course, they usually at night, Friday or Saturday night, but it'd be fun to be in.
Go out there and record a show.
Could. Go do a little. He said they're doing good. Yeah, I like that.
I wonder if he'll let me take the car around the track.
That'd be a little different ride than that. I mean, they turn their wheels like opposite of when they're going around. They're going left around the curve, but they turn their wheels to the right and slide that thing around. It's really cool to watch.
Yeah, it is.
They got it down, too, once they got it figured. But it's fun racing, and those things are pretty fast. They get after it.
Good old Wesley Stewart join us today.
Florida boy. We get them from all over the place today.
Yep.
Florida to California to Pittsburgh to
New Jersey.
Everywhere. And good morning, Wesley. Morning, Bo and Kurt, he said.
Morning, brother. Yeah, the world is awake.
We're covering the globe.
And just in California, 6:30. New York is 9:30.
I forgot about that when Deck made a comment that he was in Santa Maria.
Well, let me tell you, that's better than digging a ditch. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. This segment of the show is brought to you by the great folks over at Freeman Toyota.
Folks.
On the, what'd I say?
Folks.
Folks? Huh.
And you know what, too, and you can correct me, but I think I'm right, that there's no such word as folks. The plural for folk is folk.
Yeah. There's no S.
Yeah. I just remember that.
It's a plural word without the S.
Right. And so a lot of people will always say folks, hey, folks, but it's folk. That's the plural word for folk.
Well, go ahead and do the commercial.
Well, I don't even know what you're doing.
For the great folk over at Freeman Toyota, located on the affordable side of the Metroplex, 183 and 820. I was just over there the other day. Let me tell you, if you want a Tundra, they got them. They are stacking them deep and selling them cheap at Freeman Toyota. Go online to freemantoyota.com. Your Highlanders, Corollas, your Camrys, your Crowns, all available, ready for delivery. They're still a little backed up on the Grand Highlander, which everybody's jumping all over. That is the cat's meow for Toyota right now. And Prius sales are through the roof. And I remember when the Prius first came out and I was asked to be a representative to sell that to municipalities. I went and saw that car.
Is that still a hybrid?
Oh, yeah. It was their first hybrid.
Right.
I said, I wouldn't sell this thing to nobody. And he goes, what can we do to get
Where'd that come out?
Oh, this was back in 2000. And it came out, and I went, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. So I did take the job, and I wound up selling about 300 of them to all these different municipalities that didn't understand hybrid technology but wanted hybrid technology. And now they've redesigned the car, and it's killing it. You pull up, there's not Priuses everywhere. Just blown away. So you have the Prius hybrid, which has always been a hybrid, and then you have the EV version of it as well. But there's a whole lot going on out there, and certified pre-owned, they got a bunch of certified pre-owned Camrys and Toyotas, which there's a big gap now. That used to be where the certified was right there with the new, so people, I just buy a new. Now you have a nice gap leeway between certified pre-owned and brand new. So either way, Freeman Toyota has you covered. 183 and 820, just a couple of blocks south of the mall. Stop in and see BJ or Jerry Patterson. Let them know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show and enjoy the way buying a Toyota should be. 2 years free Toyota care. You buy the car, you put gas in it, make your payment, and Freeman's going to take care of all the maintenance on it for 2 years. That's FreemanToyota.com.
So how does a hybrid really work? I'm fascinated by that because we've talked about it, but we've never really got into the nut and bolt of how that works.
I don't know.
And you spend all your time studying the EV.
It's called, when the Prius was first released.
So they have a regular gas engine, correct?
Correct.
And what usually is that, like a 4-cylinder probably?
They're all 4 cylinders.
Okay.
When they first came out.
Okay.
So you have 4 cylinders, and they have what they call a regenerative system. So when you're driving along, and it's you talk about distractive driving. When I first got in the Prius, it was distractive as heck.
Right.
So you have a blue light, a green light, and an orange light. And so the blue light was gas. Green is when you're letting off the gas, and then orange is when you hit it. Once you hit the brake, it would turn on a generator and power up everything in your car. It's called a regenerative system. So as you're running your car and using your car, you're putting wear and tear on it. Well, this regenerative system always makes sure that that battery is cooking. So if you run out of gas, you go into electric mode and get X amount of mileage on the electric system based on how it's set up.
Do you still have an alternator for the engine battery?
Oh, yeah.
You have that battery,
Yep.
and that's all similar to the regular gas engine, right?
That's correct.
And then, but you have this regenerative system that is, I guess,
Make sure it keeps everything
I guess
charged.
it's similar to like an alternator. It's similar to where it's just charging the
for the
power,
for the basic
battery.
lay person, you could say, okay, it's like you figure alternative system.
There you go. Right.
To keep everything charged up, so if you run out of gas, you can keep going.
So you really never have to plug it in.
No.
And you don't plug it in, right?
No.
It's always based on that energy from the motor.
Yep.
And then when does that kick in to where do you push a button to go electric, or it automatically? And when does that happen usually?
When the computer says you're out of gas.
Oh, so but you're never running electric.
You are running electric, so on your regenerative system, let's say you're going down the highway, and you're going up the hill, you'll see it go orange, green, blue, where the power of the car is taking over.
More of the gas.
And then you're going down the hill, and you can see it go from blue to green to orange, where you have electric. Or you let off the gas, and you're on cruise, and you can see it going between both. But every time you hit your brake, it kicks in that generator full power, and it makes sure everything's charged up.
Make sure that battery stays charged.
Yep.
So if you're driving down the highway, say we're going on a little trip, and we're cruising at 65, 70 miles an hour, are you mainly going to be on battery at that point, or will you still be gas until the gas runs out?
Well, you could be at both. It's just how the system is picking up the behavior of the car.
Oh, okay.
That's the easiest way to say it. The behavior of the car decides when the regenerative system is kicking in to take over.
But the bottom line is, would you get about 100 miles a gallon or something like that? I mean, what, it's 50? I mean, that's exaggeration what I'm saying, but they're up there, right?
The last numbers that I saw was about 58 miles to the gallon.
That's one big reason, right?
So everybody's driving habits are different, whether you're going uphill, a lot of start and stop.
Right.
But if you're going, just straight down the highway, depending on whether you're a lead foot like me or not,
right.
There's different configurations on what it's going to get. But the numbers that I was seeing is everybody was north of 50 miles to the gallon.
That's sweet. Now, how about the maintenance of those? Have they been really good?
It's actually simpler because all you do is plug into the OBD2 sensor box, and it gives you the readout, and you know what to do. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, there you go. That's why.
And the thing about it is it doesn't wear the battery down faster because you're working. So one guy goes, so you're working gasoline, then you're working regenerative. It's really got to put a lot of wear and tear on the battery. No, that's not how they designed it.
It's not pulling the battery doing that. It's keeping it charged.
That would be going opposite of the purpose of it, that you have two systems, but you're going through batteries. Right. It does not harm the battery. So,
well, there's a little education. I thank you for that, because I've been on the show now for going 4 years, and we've just talked about hybrid and how people are loving it. They're buying them. That's what people are wanting. And so it's nice to know exactly how that works.
Yeah, the hybrid is where the direction that the auto industry should be going, because they can meet CAFE easily and then put in a few electrics here and there, which keeps the CAFE
even further down
where it needs to be. But going, 2025, we want this. 2030, we want this.
Yeah, no
2035,
gas. No gas at all, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on.
Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. And obviously they don't, because look at the debt. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Let's see where I want to go here. We got 842. Okay, I'll pick it up in the next segment. I've got some really interesting, for me, where this truck market is going. I never thought I'd see it in my life. I know that
You're talking about pickup trucks?
Yeah, you have your 3/4 tons, your jazzed up vehicles that are 80, 90, 100,000, but it's amazing what's fixing to come down the pipeline at what price. And I'm really curious to see how it will sell or will not sell, because when manufacturers set up their assembly and something isn't selling, it's not as though they went, shut down the assembly, let's just build another car. Because every time you build a car, you have to have your vendors. Manufacturers don't build motors, and they don't build tires, and they don't build stereos. They bring all these vendors together, all the suppliers, and assemble all the parts and pieces from the suppliers. You don't go over to the Toyota factory and see them making nuts and bolts. You see all this stuff coming in, and they start separating the nuts and bolts to assemble. Just like a model, you get a model, you don't have to sit there and cut out all the pieces and everything. You get a model with all the pieces, and then you assemble it. Same thing with a vehicle. So when things don't work, they don't have that opportunity to go, Bo, this car didn't work. Let's do another one next year. Because the R&D, the safety, everything that has to go into this vehicle to get it to market is completely different than it used to be. Because on average, you go back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, you had 7,000 pound cars out there. No one really cared if you hit something. It was, and back then, we weren't wearing seatbelts, and you pretty much walked away from it because the cars were so big. Now it's a whole different world. So you don't go, well, we hit with this car, we missed with this car, let's just go ahead and put another car out there. It takes so much work and effort to redesign, retool, and die to put another vehicle
because
out
that really affects every single thing that you have to order, like nuts and bolts, all the way down to nuts and bolts. Everything changes, not just the style of the vehicle, and then you just put it on that same kind of similar chassis with the same everything the same. That doesn't really work that way, does it?
Well, you got to build a car, but then what else you have to do? You have to supply your service department with the parts, the body shop with all the parts.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So you figure how many cars didn't get built because they had to pull X amount of supplies and keep them ready for parts and service.
Wow.
So there's so much involved in building an automobile. Let's take a quick break.
Before you do, did you ever enjoy putting the models together?
I did.
I loved it too.
Yeah, my favorite one was the Munster car.
That was cool. Mine was the Willis.
Oh, yeah. The Jeep.
That little Willis back, that 30-something Willis.
214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We will be right back. Good morning, Cindy.
Yeah. She's alive and kicking out there.
I was in Irving yesterday and drove through some of the old part of Irving, and boy, my memories just
lightened up, huh?
I was there at Center and Oakdale, and on the corner used to be the burger place. I know you remember, called the Viking, and we were the Nimitz Vikings. And my mom's, the doctor that she worked for, Dr. Bonoski, owned the Viking, and now there's a house there. And what was the stop and go is now a church.
Wow.
Well, boy, have times changed. But it was nice just to drive around.
Everything's changing, but it's nice to go back. See, I went back to Beaumont where I went to school, and then the building's still there, but they're not using it. They've talked about tearing it down and stuff, but it's sad to see that it's not being used, but it was there for a lot of years. My parents graduated from the high school I graduated from. So it was there for a
Got
while.
windows on it?
Excuse me?
Did it have windows on it?
A
Shutters.
couple. I think they had some prison bars. That's what I keep people from jumping, leaving. But no, it's nice to go back and reminisce about the.
I wonder
good
how
old
many
days.
schools still use chalkboards.
They don't use them anymore. They use the whiteboard.
Dry erase.
Dry erase. Yeah. Because that's what Graham used to was saying when he was at school. He'd say, "Yeah, Dad, I had to do something on the whiteboard today." I'm going like, "Whiteboard? What do you mean? You know when you get up and write something on the board?" I said, "You mean the chalkboard?" He said, "No, the whiteboard." We had this argument about the chalkboard and the whiteboard.
Well, when I was in high school, I can't remember the teacher's name, but there was a girl named Renee Rich, and the teacher would allow two people to go out and clean the
The erasers.
erasers. And so I always wanted to kiss Renee Rich. And so they said, Kurt, Renee, y'all have the erasers for the week.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm going to get me a smooch.
This is going to
Never
be
did.
great. What happened?
Couldn't
Chicken
get
out?
a kiss. No, she wouldn't kiss me.
Now, did you beat them on the tree or did you beat them together with it?
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd go out there and figure out which way the wind was blowing.
Those are the good old days. Man.
And she was dating a guy named Paul Perry through most of high school, and I kept going. She goes, I'm dating Paul. I just want a little smooch.
Don't tell
Never
her.
got one. She was true to Paul. She really was. I couldn't get a smooch.
Mm-hmm.
And that last day, that Friday of the erasers was like heartbreaking because I knew I wouldn't have another opportunity.
You stayed out there as long as you could.
Kurt, we beat these things to nothing. Well, no, I don't
We're
think
not
so.
quite classy little
Not
white
quite
pigs
there.
Cindy goes, you remember the football place?
Foosball.
Foosball. Oh, yeah, foosball.
Oh, yeah.
Was that at the place you're talking about?
Mm-mm.
Or was that a different
Yeah,
place?
different place.
They renamed. They
10
married
seconds.
too. She said. You're talking about that girl you were talking about.
No. Paul Perry boogied to. I can't remember
We
where
would
Paul
like to
Perry
take
boogied
this
to.
time to say thank you for flying
talked to
with
Renee
us
a while
today
back.
here on the Automotive.com Flight 101. Please extinguish all cigarettes and cigars. Place your seats in the upright position and fasten your seatbelts. Please do not try to exit through the exit door.
3, 2, 1.
Warning. The information heard here on the Automotive Edge radio show may lead you to find a wealth of knowledge that could possibly save you time and money. If any of this information causes you to be bothered or upset, please sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and seek immediate help. Now, here's your host of the Automotive Edge radio show, Kurt Chase.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. This segment of the show is brought to you by Norm Reeves Honda Superstore, Northridge and Hills. I went by there. The inventory's packed. I mean, it is packed. And one thing that I want to clarify, because I keep getting emails and text messages going, Honda actually is reducing the profitability of the dealership invoice to MSRP. They're reducing that as they are trying to rat hole a bunch of money for their next generation cars in 2040, 2050, or whatever that's going to be. And there's a lot of people going, well, I only got this much of a discount or that much of a discount. Well, the discount has been squeezed a little bit, but they're not going with all the crazy markup on the vehicles. They got great lease programs, great availability, and great people standing behind it. And my adopted daughter, Marie, is now the service director over there, so she is going to take good care of you. That's Norm Reeves Honda Superstore, NRH. That's one thing I want to tell people. A lot of times you're seeing these big discounts, but you're not reading the fine print. Unfortunately, in the very bottom it says, plus any additional adds or charges on the very bottom. Does not include any additional dealer options or adds. And then the options mean the option to charge you more. And you'll never have that at Norm Reeves Honda Superstore in Northridge and Hills. The pricing that you see is the pricing that you get. And let me tell you, they are getting people financed that didn't think they could own a new Honda. And a cool thing about Honda is you pay on on your Honda count good and things to the left and to the right on your credit don't do so good, Honda's still going to finance you a new car. They want your business. You pay your Honda right, you'll always be taken care of by Honda. Same thing goes at Norm Reeves Honda, North Richland Hills Superstore. Give them a call. Stop by, make your appointment, and spend some time driving. And for people that are looking for that great midsize truck, that Ridgeline is off the charts. Go take time to drive it. Norm Reeves Honda Superstore, NorthRichlandHills.com. Let's go to the Automotive Edge hotline. Who do we have with us today?
Oh, this is Mr. Ty Gentleman. How are you, buddy?
What do you say, brother? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm actually kind of chilling this morning, having a cup of coffee before I start going crazy and tidying up all the loose ends.
Calm before the storm.
You need that. You're like this energized bunny on steroids.
Yes.
Well, there's stuff to get done, right?
That's right. Connor's Car Show coming up April 20th right here at Keller Town Center. And right across on Keller Parkway, there's a church, and you'll be able to get to and from because the parking fills up. How many people you think comes out there? Somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people?
Well, you're going to get shocked at this a little bit. We kind of have some pretty good estimates because the crawl actually knows how many tickets they sell. And then we used to know kind of on an average, we'd kind of take a snapshot throughout the day of how many people were there. So we estimate that we're between 30 and 35,000 spectators throughout the day.
I believe it. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, the crawl by itself sells on average 20 to 25,000 tickets. And so we know that's a firm number, and we know that Connors used to bring around 10 to 12 by itself. So you kind of figure there's a mix in there and everything else, but we're probably 30 to 35, somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, and when you hear Ty say the crawl, that is the crawfish crawl. So if you're a crawfish kind of person, I tried to get in last year and get some crawfish, and that line was just too long for Kurt, so I went and had me a burger.
You didn't tell him, hey, I'm Kurt Chase. I get to go to the front of the line?
Yeah, they told me to go to the very back and stand there for a while.
I think the security actually came and hauled him away.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him I'm Ty Gentman's brother.
There's a way around that. You just go grab Connor in his golf cart, and you'll get right to the front.
Hey, that's a good move.
There we go. Now I got the inside scoop. So how do people find out about the car show, Ty?
Well, we try to push it out all kinds of things. So obviously there's the website, which is I don't want to say old school, but we've got the website, which a lot of information's on. There's a Facebook page, which is just Connor's Car Show. There's an Instagram page. There's a Twitter page. And so we push it out as much as we can on social media, but probably the best way is at the Facebook page because that's where I do most of the updates, and obviously that's connected to Instagram so that it goes out that way as well. But if you want to go to the website, then just go to the website and events, and it'll show you right where the car show is and some information about it.
And that's ConnorsCarshow.com, right?
Yeah, CONNORS, ConnorsCarshow.com.
So for people that want to bring their goods out and show off their company, is there still space available for them to do it?
So there are some spaces left. I think I'm down to 2 spaces left for myself for a vendor. The crawl, I think, has about 10 or 12 spots left. But we're anticipating, I think, between the crawl and our vendors, we'll probably have about 85 vendors out there this year.
And we'll be broadcasting live out there, too. This will be,
Correct.
7th or 8th year, 6th
Ty,
year?
can I bring Bo?
You can. You know, he's part of the show. So he's got pictures with Connor.
Boy, y'all making me feel really loved this morning.
1 minute.
We do. Last time I saw Connor, he had a mustache. I went, boy, did time fly.
No kidding.
I know. We got Dad's got to shave him now because he grows a mustache.
Get him cleaned up for the show. Hey, Ty, we love you, buddy. We got to go to break, and we'll see you on the 20th. That's ConnorsCarshow.com. Don't miss it. It's not only a great show, but it's a great time of fellowship to meet Ty and Connor and everybody out there. We love you, brother. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys there.
All right. 214-787-1190. We're going to take a quick break, introduce you to some great sponsors. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's – so how are we going to be set up? Okay, so she said that couple did get married, but they didn't last long. Cindy.
Yeah, I didn't go there. I never played foosball. I didn't like foosball. I was a pool shooter, but I never did the foosball.
So, are we going to be having the little trailer? Or are we going to,
I don't think so.
You think so?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to break my tent out, and hopefully I can I get my boys to help because I am right now unable to do a whole lot of anything.
Where would we be at on the lawn with?
Yeah, right
ground?
to the right. Where you go, if you're facing going up the stairs, we'd be right to the left. We'd have the tent set up.
And so it would be where you could put stakes in the ground. We'd be on the ground, right?
Where the trailer was,
right
on the other side of the sidewalk.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I guess we'll just have to keep an eyeball on the weather and the wind and see what's shaking. So what happens if that doesn't happen?
We're inside. I know. I don't want to be inside either, but it is what it is. We got to protect this equipment.
Well, yeah. But
yeah, it's what's wrong, Kurt? Well, we had an accident, and I fractured my L1 and L2 vertebrae, and I had to go to the hospital, and so now I'm wearing a brace, and it's been, boy, at my age, breaking a couple of vertebrae has just been a beating.
Cindy's been really funny.
And, it's been tough. It's been.
He's had to back down from a couple fights. I've never seen that before.
No, yeah, I had to kind of. Okay, you win. Yeah, I'm a chicken.
I'm out.
Yeah, call me what you want. So
I'll catch you in here in about 3 months once I'm really healed.
Yeah. So I'm hoping here in the next few weeks by Connor's Car Show, I'm in better shape.
It's 2 weeks. So.
Yep. So my wife is taking very good care of me, and it was a tough week because my daughter was in almost a tragic car accident, was in the hospital.
Well, it was tragic. Well, it wasn't
it
didn't take her life, but it was tragic.
Yeah, she was in the trauma center, and some guys ran her off the road, and she hit a concrete pillar, and it was a tough week for the old Chase household. But you know what? God is good, and the reason we're still here is He's got a purpose for us. We know that, and so we're moving forward. She's healing well, and I'm healing well. And
will you be getting another scan here soon to see?
Hopefully,
how it's healing.
Yeah,
but you don't have to worry about getting in that big old casket or whatever they call it. Take you through that PT scan.
The tube.
The tube.
Yeah. Morning, Charlie Davis.
Yeah. Out in Lubbock,
Texas. Man, we're covering the globe today.
Today we are, and thank y'all for doing that and being a part of our broadcast
We're going to get something from somebody out of the country.
We're working
that would
on
just
it.
complete it, right?
I think we did that a couple times.
We did a couple times, yeah.
She said, I hope you're sending your prayers.
Thank you.
And Deborah Gonzalez, the woman that never, ever ages and is beautiful forever, sending healing prayers to you.
You know, it was so funny. She was at the hamburger joint where we were doing the show, and she said, this is my grandson. And I was going, boy, it looks like, your kiddo, your grandson.
Right, exactly.
She ought to be doing those infocommercials on how not to age.
Any kind of product.
Yeah.
I would hire her.
You have Cindy Crawford, and then
exactly.
Deborah ought to just join her going, yeah, I take it too. I don't age. Guess my age. Deborah would be the one you want to take to the state fair where they guess your age or weight, and they say, guess my age. She get to pick out whatever she wants.
Yeah, they'd miss it by a lot of years, I promise you.
Yeah. Good morning. Look at Carol. Here she is in New Orleans now. She's Vegas, New Orleans, Alaska, Argentina.
Well, she's helping us cover the globe, so thank you for being in Louisiana there. And
that's what we'll do. We'll just pay Carol to be in a different part of the country tuning in each week.
Well, we got Charles Davis in Oklahoma. So he's helping us cover the globe, too. Thank y'all.
Hoochatown, Oklahoma.
Hoochatown.
Yep.
Deborah says, LOL, I need a paying job. We could hire her to be the Automotive Edge, like the ticket chicks. You remember them?
Yeah.
We could hire her to be the Automotive Edge gal lady or whatever.
Gal lady.
We'll make sure that she's okay.
Deborah, we'll come up with something better than that.
Yeah, I was just throwing something out. But, maybe she could be there and come to the show and pass out cards and pass out, T-shirts. And
So, Charlie, are you up there for the eclipse? Is everybody getting in on this eclipse thing? I'm not.
I'm out. I don't care about it. I could care less. It's going to be cloudy in my neck of the woods anyway, and I'm not driving anywhere to see it. If it's nice and it comes over my house and I get outside and I can do it that way, a few steps out the door, fine. Other than that, don't call me.
You know what? They couldn't arrest the guy, but he was selling bogus eclipse glasses.
Really?
And they're going, buddy, why are you saying that? And they were just these old little cheap things, which they all are anyway. They just have a special little piece of plastic on it. But
I'm going to use my 3D glasses. No, but I saw a couple people doing that in Denton yesterday.
30
thank
seconds.
you, Wesley Stewart.
Thank you. That's
Prayers
exciting.
are always needed. Just north of Broken Bow, Oklahoma.
Marcus Tilson. There they are, the superstars. Good morning, gentlemen. Hey, he's calling the superstars. And a Texas Rangers fan, too. You can't beat that.
That's right.
Well, they tore up Houston last night.
10 seconds.
That sounded cheap.
Look at this.
Oh,
That's
that would be sweet right there. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, Dad.
From Italy. Now, how cool would that be? Somebody from Italy.
Join us
tuned
on
in.
Italy.
Man, our heads would be so full we couldn't get out.
It's pretty bad
Hello,
now.
this is your pilot speaking. We're currently taxiing out to the runway and getting ready for takeoff. I don't see any turbulence, and we should arrive at our time. Thank you for choosing the Automotive Edge Airways, and I hope you'll follow us and use our services again in the future.
Two 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. If you want to know where to go, who to see, what to do when buying an automobile, it's a free service. We've never charged a dime to help you with your automotive needs. Go to theautomotiveedge.com, click on Ask Kurt, leave me your name and number, and I want to thank everybody. This week, I had some of the best conversations. I have been caught up, I just tell you, with the accident that I had. I am a Netflix guru. But you know what? You know my problem of I've got too many projects going on. Plus our kitchen flooded, which, add that to the list. But God is good.
Well, that's where the accident occurred.
My deal is there's too much filth on TV. I went to Netflix, and I went to Paramount, and I went to, what's the other one? Whatever it was. And there's just so much filthy language and
they don't have to. That's the thing. And I've watched some of those, and I really hate doing it and I know I turned you to one show that they had a few in there, but I don't like it, and I turn it off once they get that way. But when I'm watching the movie, I'm going, they don't even have to do that. It's still the point's still being made. They don't have to use those F-bombs and GDs and all that nonsense. I don't understand why they're doing it. It's
I used to love that series Suits.
Yeah. Right.
And then at the end, it went off the rails. Everything was just filthy. I went, hang on a second. You had such a great show, one of the biggest watched series ever on Netflix. I'm going, why did you go so filthy? So I'm laying there, and I wound up watching Kelly's Heroes, Guns and Aberone.
Yeah.
The Eagle Has Landed with, a lot of Clint Eastwood's first movies. And, I'm watching all this stuff. I'm going, golly. Even back then when you had the old, what do they call it, spaghetti westerns and all.
Oh, yeah.
There was no filth. I mean, yeah, there were some gun shootings and stuff like that, bombs going off, but there wasn't the filth. I'm telling you, Kelly's Heroes with Donald Sutherland, he is a scream, that whole movie. And I sat there and I was watching it. And then you go back to some of the old movies, Remember the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
A movie that probably no one's even heard of, Brian's Song.
Yeah,
what a
great
classic
song.
that was.
Definitely.
And I'm sitting there going, golly, you have to really go way back to find movies that are just not filthy. So anyway, I've been trying to excel my rehab. I have to walk a lot, and trying to find little things that I can do versus trying to find a series or whatever that's just not disgusting. Because once I hear the Lord's name in vain, bam, it's off for me. I'm going, you don't have to use his name in a derogatory way to make a point.
Correct.
Just let it all go. I digress, but, you know,
But
it is what it
your
is.
point you're getting at through all that was the fact that you've had a lot of good conversations and been catching up on a lot of good things with the Automotive Edge, right?
Read it out loud.
About Cindy?
Yeah.
She said, man, and if you guys were heard in Italy, then I would have real friends in high places, not just in low places, Garth Brooks. I got friends in low places where they at or something, where the smiling
Nice.
faces are.
Hey, let's talk about one of the great sponsors. We're going to be there next week, Burleson Nissan. Our buddy Justin Crane, and prayers to you and your family today. But we'll be there next Saturday. Come on out and see us right there at Renfro Road and 35 in Burleson. And he is wheeling and dealing. He's got over 200 cars on the lot, and he wants them gone by the end of the month. And we're going to help him do that. Burleson Nissan, the Nissan Sentra, for all you moms and dads out there, you got the graduation kids coming, and the average car is over $30,000. The average vehicle purchase altogether is about $48,000. Burleson Nissan has got the Nissan Sentras at $20,000 plus TT&L for 2024. So they've got the perfect cars. Plus he's got certified cars, got a great used collection. The place, Burleson Nissan, 35 in Renfro Road. If you just tell Justin Crane that you're listening to Kurt or Bo, he's going to give you 3 free years of maintenance. How do you like me now? The place, burlesonnissan.com. Okay, this blows me away. Here Ford has taken back over the assembly, going, we're not going to keep putting out the Ford Lightning. We're cutting it way, 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 way back. And then GM comes out and announces that their vehicle, their truck that they're coming out with all electric, confirmed that the RST will start at $96,495. Less than the $106,000 that was previously, $10,000 less than what they thought the vehicle was going to be. But I'm sitting here going, $100,000, because when you put in TT&L on $96,000, it's at 6.25%, plus your road and bridge, dock fee, VIT, all of that stuff. It's well over $100,000, and you're going, well, how far is this thing going to go? Well, it says that it will get estimated 440 miles, and that's running empty and flat. Empty and flat. And I haven't talked to anybody yet that is excited about it. And I said, what would excite you? And they said a truck that would have a 700 or 800 mile range, knowing that if we put stuff in it, we would get the 400 miles.
But were they going to be that excited about it if it's over $100,000? That's the ticket. I mean, sure. I mean, that'd be great to get an EV vehicle that would do that and do all these wonderful things. And trust me, and we've talked about this, they are some super vehicles. I mean, they do some wonderful things, but there's a lot of issues around it. And one is the price of these things. You know,
Yep.
and that's a big issue with people, especially average American people. You know, I couldn't buy one like that.
So what they're saying now is if you order an RST, they're going to give you a GM Energy Level 2 charger at no charge.
What, at your house?
In your home.
Okay.
And they're going to get very, very, very expensive to be putting these home chargers at your house, depending on how fast you want this thing to charge. And all you need to do is stand out and watch your meter.
Starts going around
watch
like
a little
crazy.
smoke coming off of it, and then you'll know your vehicle's getting charged. They're saying the RST will generate 754 horsepower, 785 pounds of torque. And you're going, goodness gracious, tows up to 10,000 pounds with a payload capacity, which is cargo options and people in the bed and inside the cab of 1,300 pounds. But it's not going to get your 440 with all that on there. Remember that. Once you start loading this bad boy up and doing it, you're going to cut that probably, and I'm guessing, by 50%.
Yeah.
So I'm just not
What's the weight of that? Because we were talking about the semi-type trucks with their batteries. Are these batteries really heavy too, to where the weight of those
couple
pickups?
1,000 pounds.
Okay.
And so,
But
I don't know.
isn't that about the weight of an engine?
oh, it's more than an engine.
Okay, I'm not sure what an engine is.
Yeah, and
What's the weight of a regular engine?
well, they can go from 800 pounds to depending on the size of the motor, but nowhere near what these big batteries.
That's
are
what
gonna
I
cost.
was trying to
Yeah.
get at. So there's still a lot of weight to that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Hummer. The battery on that Hummer, you're getting 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 pounds of torque. And what kind of battery does it take to produce that? I mean, that's
Double A's.
bunch.
A couple of double A's. Now, when they charge this, what are they using? Are they doing 220? Or is it a 110?
220.
So what?
I mean, you can use 110, but you're going to keep it on there for a day
3
and a half, 2 days
to drive a day. So for people that don't maybe understand electricity so well, a 220 is what powers your dryer.
Right.
That's what a 220 is. So I don't know if it's plugged in the same
Yeah, that's
way.
why when you buy a dryer now, or you need to convert your dryer over, you have to buy the new plug. That's
Right.
a 220 plug for your dryer.
It's a different kind of
and
plug.
so if you change over your system in your home to meet code, you have to go 220 plug with that higher, thicker cord for your dryer.
Correct. So that's what we're talking about when it's 220, and that sucks a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, it's double.
Yeah, just like when you turn your
110 to 220. Now
Right.
they're talking about putting in 440s. I'm going, whoo.
Stand back burrito.
That's a lot of juice coming through there. Yep. Put a raw pizza on the hood and let it cook.
I wonder what it does. Then what's it do to the electricity bill? What does that look like?
What do you think is going to look
Double,
like with power
triple?
going through the roof? And, they're having to increase the grid here in the United States. We know 3 years ago what happened to the grid. It shut down and lives were lost and homes were destroyed.
Right.
It was just terrible. And now they're going, well, let's just ramp this thing up.
Go 440, heck with
Yep.
it.
And a buddy was telling me, I'm going to do some research on it, that there's 2 nuclear plants in Texas that are not even running. They're idle, that could solve 90% of the problem.
Right.
And I'm going to verify that. But he was calling me the other day, and he goes, if they just click the switch and get them up and running, we'd probably have a lot less problems. Good morning, Kevin Vines.
He says, "Good morning, boys. Good as and."
So here's my
tuning
thing. Ford is the number one selling pickup truck in the world, has been for, I think, 49 years now. And then you have your Chevy Silverado, your Ram, which is, once they redesigned this Ram pickup truck, it just, boom, it has taken off. I mean, it's just killing it. And then Chevy comes along and remodels the Chevy Silverado, which is a beautiful truck. I wasn't ever a big fan of the Chevy 3/4 ton. I thought it was very blasé. But now, boy, have they jazzed that thing up to where I'm a visual guy. When I walked up to the old 3/4 tons, it was like everything seemed to me a WT, which is a work truck. I didn't like it. Now the 3/4 tons, which, I think Ford had the best looking 3/4 ton truck out there with their Platinum Edition. Love that pickup truck. And then Chevy come out, started doing some redesign, putting that, it's looks like a scoop on the front of the hood, really off the chain. And then, your Dodge truck following right behind it. And I'm going, man, oh man, are these trucks so nice and doing everything. Why, when it's the number one selling product in the world, pickup trucks, are they electrifying them?
Would you start jacking with it?
Leave it alone.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing.
Leave
It's
it
like,
alone.
Why? I just don't get it. Why? When the old thing is that back in the day, they used to say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Remember those lines?
Yeah.
If you had a car and you're going like, this thing is dirty, and you go, well, if I wash it, it might break down on me. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And why are they trying to do that?
And the cost to build them, and where most of this product is coming from to build it,
Yeah.
China.
1 minute.
When you look at your cobalt and your different titaniums, or what I call IUMs, lithiums, and all the different things it takes to build these batteries, 70 to 90% come from China. And so when it does, that takes away the $7,500 that you and I are paying. They say I love it when they say it's a government rebate. It's not a government rebate. It's taxpayer dollars given to people so they can drive electric vehicle. Please. But I'm going, the number one industry in the world,
30
employer,
seconds.
is the auto industry. The number one selling vehicle in the world are pickup trucks. and we want to change that.
Screw with
Really?
both of it. All right.
Yeah, take the chips out of the chocolate chips and still call it a chocolate chip. Give me a break. 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I guess you hit it right on the nail on the head. Leave well enough alone.
Just why would you?
Here, we have a drug that's curing all this. Nah, let's try something else. Well, they're getting sick again. Well, let's just wait down the road to see if
just keep trying something else. We're going to leave what really, really worked because, for some reason we just can't handle that.
They had the lady sitting there and she said that we need to go all electric and we need to get rid of plastics. And so the congressman goes, ma'am, what are the frames made out of, the glasses that you're wearing? He goes, I don't know. He goes, plastic. She goes, well, how do you know that? And he goes, what do you think your phone's made out of? And she goes, I don't know. He goes, plastic. He said, what do you think about the clothes that you're wearing? There's plastic in it. He said, the seats in vehicles, which there's a lot of plastic. And he goes, so what's the alternative? Well, we just need to find it. He said, he goes, so how many billions of dollars do you think you need to find it? And she goes, well, we're still calculating, but they still need $10 billion.
Well, it reminds me of the wacky doodle doos that go, we went through an era where we had to save the trees.
Yep.
So we had bags. We had, when I used to sack groceries, and we had the regular bags, which
paper bags,
which were made from trees.
Yep.
Stop it. We got to get rid of that. We got to save the tree. We go to plastic. Okay. Then what happens? We're clogging up the rivers and the
now we're going to charge you for the plastic
and
bag.
now we're coming back to paper, just like they're doing with straws out in California. We went from paper to now we're going to plastic straws. Now you can't get a plastic straw in California.
You know what? I have not been to a restaurant. There was 3 restaurants that were using them, and they've all gone back to plastic. They said they had more complaints from the customers that putting a piece of cardboard in your mouth and drinking through was horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So
you might as well roll up a dollar bill and use it.
Yeah. So think about that. We've got the wrong people. What do they say? We have the crazies running the asylum.
Oh, there is absolutely no doubt. And the unfortunate thing is we're the ones electing the crazies. So it's really back on our shoulders with that.
Yeah, we don't know anything. They know everything.
Well, we've given them that right.
And they know a whole lot about nothing.
We haven't stopped them. We haven't put the brakes on them, and that's why it's that way. And that's sad. But, the people just haven't awakened yet to that circumstance. That's just a problem.
30 seconds.
Getting that energy up there, baby. It sounds great. It's 30 seconds. Rock and roll.
30 seconds.
The great Maddie Gomez, who keeps us alive and kicking every Saturday morning.
10 seconds.
Here we go.
Wow, she is really getting into it today. She just had to kickstart.
Yes.
She just had to kickstart.
Well, she's been on the ill side a little bit, so she's coming around. Don Cornelius says, love, peace, and soul.
That's right. 214-787-1190 is the number. Let's talk about not 6-time, not 7-time, but what?
8 times, and they got it too. We were there last week, and they have gotten the 8th year in a row, back to back to back to back to back.
Chevy Dealer of the Year, Eldorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75 in McKinney. Jason Lawing, Rusty, Jazz Gill, Mark Welch, the whole gang out there. That sales staff is second to none. When you want to find new roads in a Chevrolet, find new roads in a Chevrolet from Eldorado Chevrolet in McKinney, 380 and 75. $8,000 off before rebates on the Chevy Silverados, $5,200 off before rebates on the Chevy Equinox, and on and on and on. And that's any $1,500. I said, well, what about the Trail Boss? What about this? What about it's $8,000 off on all of them. I'm like, all of them, plus 1.9 for 72 months. How do you beat that? You can't, because when you're driving off the lot, you're in an equity situation. You got to like it. But you know what you'll like even more? The people you're doing business with at El Dorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75. And then right next door, my buddy Tommy Melton. And if you haven't had a chance, this summer there's going to be a lot of people traveling. I'm amazed how many people went through COVID and were on the road because the kids were doing their work from a laptop and mom and dad were working off laptops. Everybody was remote and they were traveling the United States. And they're expecting another big push of traveling this year again. And one of the best people movers around is the new Mazda CX-90. And you need to go out and see it in the place Tommy Melton right there next to El Dorado Chevrolet, El Dorado Mazda. Just take a test drive. But if you want something a little smaller, you only have a kid or two. You got the CX-5, you got the CX-50, and then the big bad boy, the CX-90. I drove it. I love it. I want some more of it. I just don't have a bunch of kids, but I'd own that vehicle. The place, El Dorado Mazda, El Dorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75. Let them know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show and enjoy the experience. But finding new roads in a Chevrolet, there's not a better place than 8-time Chevy Dealer of the Year, El Dorado Chevrolet. So let's talk about where the money is right now when buying a vehicle. Lincoln really wants people to appreciate and enjoy luxury at its best. And my buddy David Klett, there at Grapevine Lincoln, the Navigator, the Corsair, the Aviator, he is not playing around when it comes to discounting and getting you behind the wheel of a brand new Lincoln. And Lincoln's numbers are up, and they want them even bigger. They want to hit that, 10,000 plus vehicles a month out the door. And there's a great place to get your discounts. Acura, my buddy David Gomez, there at Highly Acura at 820 in Riverside, he's not playing around either. His lineup of MDX, the RDX, the TLX, the Integra, everything is ready to go. Good lease programs, discounts on the retail, good financing. And I think that I always brand the Acura as a luxury sports vehicle, because you get the best of both worlds when you're driving an Acura.
We're driving one right now this morning.
That's right. And the longevity and the cost of ownership, second to none. HighlyAcura.com. My buddy David Gomez. Is David back in town, Maddie?
I think so. I didn't get home until late last night because of the Mavs game, but my mom told me he was supposed to come home.
Yeah, I knew he flew out and he had a meeting somewhere, and
he was in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Well, we don't know. We're not going to find out what happened, because you know what happens when you go to Vegas.
It all stays in Vegas. That's right. That's HighlyAcura.com, and take a look at his lineup. He's got a great lineup of new and pre-owned. His pre-owned certified Acura MDXs, he's got a good group of those, and there's a big difference between new and pre-owned. If you're budget-minded, you want to go pre-owned, HighlyAcuraFortWorth.com. The Genesis brand, not so much discounts on the Genesis brand because they're selling so well, and they don't stock up a bunch of inventory on Genesis. There are discounts out there, but not, you're not going to see $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 off on the Genesis because they're selling very quickly. And I think that is the fastest growing luxury brand. And if I could have a G90 in my driveway, if I could afford it, that would be my pick for cars, no doubt about it. Kia slowed down a little bit. It's really weird. Hyundai and Kia, which is both part of Tata Motors and have a lot of similarities. When you look at the Telluride, then you look at the Palisade, and you just go down the line looking at their cars, there's a lot of similarities, but different designs on them. There's some really, really good discounts. Jesse Hull, managing partner, Classic Kia Carrollton, he is not playing. You look at the Kia Forte, $199 a month for a 2024 LXS, $199 a month on a 2-year lease. That's the deal of the week right there. Mazda, their numbers are moving up. Mazda got a little bit stagnant, but now with their new CX-90, the CX-50, they're coming out with the CX-70. Their numbers are moving up, and here's one thing I will tell you, that the Mazda line, so many people has used their technology for a very, very long time. If you go back to when I was with Ford, the Ranger, the B2200, which was Mazda's pickup truck, was the same motor and transmission that was in the Ford Ranger. Why? Because the longevity, the quality, durability, cost of ownership. And so Mazda's technology, when you go back to their rotary motor, was always fantastic. Go back to their Wankel, the Hercules Wankel that they had on their motorcycles. Those things ran forever. So for a lot of people that go, Mazda, let me tell you, boy, if they build one of the best vehicles for longevity out in the marketplace. Everybody says it's always Honda and Toyota, which it is, but you have Mazda right there with them. And then Subaru, you know, one thing about Subaru is they don't have a bunch of markup in their vehicles, and they never have. I get people going, hey, I'm looking at this $35,000 Subaru, and they're only giving me a $1,000 discount. Subaru has never been a vehicle with a bunch of markup for the dealer to play with. They have to sell volume on the Subaru. One of the most loyal brands, too. It's 7.4 years of ownership. And they say that 75% of the people that trade in a Subaru buy another Subaru. Absolutely incredible. The Lexus brand up 15%, Toyota up 21%. And even though Toyota's up 21%, they're still giving out really great discounts in their Toyota Tundras. They're not missing a deal at Freeman Toyota on the Toyota Tundra. They're not. You're looking for a pickup truck. You're looking for big discounts on a great product. Because one thing, you know, I always get asked about what the best pickup trucks are. And I always say that the Toyota Tundra almost feels like a 3/4 ton truck when you get in it. I mean, you got 20-inch brakes on that. It sits up high. The ride and everything about it, I really, really like it. And you got a lot of different trim levels on from the SR5 all the way up to, you know, whatever you want to do, that we TRD Off-Road Pro and your SS. A lot of variants that you can do with the Toyota Tundra. And then all the way across the board with the other lines of vehicles, you know, the average incentive moved up to $2,675. And you go, well, $2,600 is not much of an incentive. Well, that's overall. That's when you bring everything together. Obviously, the big discounts are on the pickup trucks. They're just killing it right now. And then everything else is just kind of stagnant. You know, Buick, you're not going to see a whole lot of big discounts, rebates, or incentives on it. A very, very niche market. Sad part is Buick's going all electric. And I think there was 130 dealers said, we're out. We're not doing Buick anymore. Buick seemed to be fine with that, going, okay, then we're going to have exclusivity with these other dealers. We're really going to make Buick pop being totally electrified. I totally disagree. Along with Cadillac. Come 2025, all Cadillacs are going to be building as electric vehicles. Bad mistake. But I'm not the one in charge of either one of those places. Mini Cooper.
They may be calling you before it's over, though.
Ooh. Yeah, let me go in there and run one of those companies. I guarantee you we'll turn it around real quick and start putting some eye candy out there for people to be buying. Mini Cooper is down almost 13%. I've never been a big Mini fan. I just don't. I've never really cared for the car. And, you know, I'm a pretty big guy, so I've never enjoyed getting in it. But I got buddies that drive those and absolutely love them. And they loved it with all the British markings. You know, you get the green or red with the big British stripes on it. And they still love them. It's one of those things where they have this cult following. They all get together and have the Mini Cooper rallies and everything.
Yeah,
and it does really, really well. Cadillac down about 3%. No surprise there. And everybody else, the numbers are doing really, really well. Hyundai Motor is par for the time. And then you look at Karma, which a lot of people haven't even heard of Karma, down 80%, all electric. Lucid Motors, all electric, down 24%. Mazda up 13%. And then you just look, Mitsubishi blows me away, up 35%.
And you don't talk about them much, and I'm not sure why.
Well, there's a reason.
Okay.
Infiniti down 11%, but they're putting all their eggs in a basket with their CX-80, which will be out this next year or the end of the year. It's supposed to be one of the ultimate luxury vehicles. Can't wait to drive it. And then we'll be talking about a few more coming up. We got to go to break. 214-787-1190. I'm Kurt Chase with the great one, Big Wheels Bo Carver. Be right back.
And it's stretch time. This is the 7th inning stretch for Kurt Chase. Yes, it's stretch his little back out and get things where it's not going to lock up on him. We are here every Saturday morning here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show, and we do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to our broadcast here on the Facebook pages and on YouTube. Here on the Automotive Edge Facebook page and on the Shifting Gears Facebook page, my personal page, Kurt's personal page, and YouTube. So we're getting a lot of coverage there on our Facebook outreach. We just added YouTube just a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're hoping that if you have people out there that don't get involved in the social media, the Facebook, side of life, maybe you can encourage them to either tune in on the radio, because you can actually get the radio show anywhere. You can download the iHeart app, and then you can search Talk Radio 1190 AM KFXR, and you can listen to it that way by your phone or your computer. Or actually, too, is if you have an Alexa or an Echo or whatever you named your little speaker in your house, that power speaker, you can just say, Alexa, go to Talk Radio 1190 KFXR, and we'll be on. So it's that simple for them to do that. If they want to hear the radio show on their phone or on their computer, they can just do that by saying, Echo, go to Talk Radio 1190 KFXR, and here we will. It'll take you there, and be a little commercial in the beginning, but then it will pop on as we're live. Then we change from Talk Radio 1190 at 10, and then go to the other iHeartMedia network to 97.1 The Freak. And that's 97.1 The Freak. You can do the same thing with the iHeartMedia app by searching that, or you can do your Alexa by Siri or whatever you call your speaker there. Echo, hey, go to go to 97.1 FM The Freak. Same thing, a short little commercial, and then you'll hear us. So there's a lot of different ways to hear the show, and then just let everybody know we're out there. And then you actually listen to it on your radio if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And that's Talk Radio 1190 AM KFXR, or, then we've switched to 10 AM to 97.1 The Freak. Wesley Stewart, I know you got to go to work. I thought you were retired. Well, sorry you have to go to work, but have a great day. And I always thank you for tuning in out there in Florida, keeping that state in good hands, good shape. Appreciate it. We got
Who's going to work?
Wesley Stewart's got to go to work, he said.
I thought he was kicking it out there. And
I thought he was retired out there.
Well, some people just can't be retired.
I thought I was
20 seconds.
I thought I was going to retire too.
And then I just pulled you in.
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back.
That's right.
Dan Bradford's retiring.
Is he?
Told me yesterday he gave his notice, and he's going to be out May. I think it was like middle of May or whatever. He's done. He's doing so much work with Stephanie that he just
good for him.
Turning it in.
He's been there a long time. He was my producer for a long time.
He said that they asked him about doing some side work or whatever contract. He said, "Oh yeah, sure." So he's going to be really set good.
Me and you. Little Casey and the Sunshine Band in the headset. I wish we could share it, but Sony and Facebook don't like it. Do a little dance.
Make a little love.
Make a little love. Make the world a little better.
Yes, sir.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Grapevine Dodge right there at William D. Tate and 121. You talk about making a deal. That whole dealership is under construction, and Wade and his whole staff has been crammed into the used car building. And let me tell you what, they are
when did that happen?
Blowing inventory off the lot.
When did that happen?
It started a couple of weeks ago.
Right after we were there, I guess, huh?
Yep. And that place is all boarded up. And they have the...
What are they doing? Just remodeling the whole thing?
The whole dealership.
Well, they did have a leak there coming as you were coming into the dealership, remember?
They're leveling all that
out.
That's
a good time to do it.
All new rock and stone. Sweet. And my wife was the first, and her employee number is 1.
How about that?
She was the first and only employee left from.
Well, she should be number one, whether she was the first one
That's
there
right.
or not. So they got that one right.
Yep. And so let me tell you, Wade is moving inventory. I was walking the lot yesterday with him, And he goes, look, you just tell your listeners we're under remodel, and they're not slowing down shipping us inventory. So if you're looking for a Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, I'm telling you, Challengers, and I don't care which Challenger it is or which Jeep it is, they have got to move inventory. So you got them in a weak spot. They're under a total remodel at the dealership, but they're still easy to get to right there at William D. Tate and 121, almost $20,000 off of their 3/4-ton pickup trucks. Just killing it. The place, Grapevine Dodge, 121 and William D. Tate. If you go online at grapevinedodge.com, and he goes, you know what? He may even work with the prices that he's posting on the internet. So they want to clear the inventory while they're under a remodel. I think it's a 6-month project.
Wow.
And
so does that mean we won't be out there for 6 months?
Well, we're going to try to cram ourselves in that little building.
In between one of the Dodges?
Yeah, we may be doing it from one of the trucks.
I was going to say we could be in the back of one of the pickups.
Yeah.
Lower the thing.
We can actually sit inside. You set up the camera in the Comrex.
Could do that too.
Run a little cord out the back window. We're set. GrapevineDodge.com. Ask for Wade. Let him know you're listening to the Automotive Ed Radio Show. I'm telling you, you've got him. And one car that no one's even talked about is the Dodge Hornet. No one even hears about it. They're hardly running any advertising. Go drive a Dodge Hornet. It'll blow you away. A great small car. That the ride, the drive, the handling, I like it. And then it comes down to people, and Wade and his staff there at Grapevine Dodge will hook you up. William D. Tate and 121. That's grapevinedodge.com. So let's go back. I just wanted to hit a couple of things real quick here. When I'm looking down the list of electric vehicles, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are all negative. And the big one is, Polestar. They're down 53%. But then you turn around, you look at Rivian. They're up 70%, but they've sold, 7,000 vehicles. Alfa Romeo down. Let's see here. Jeep is up. Maserati's up. And go down the line. Subaru of America up 6%. Tesla is only up 4%. And here's Tesla again. What are they doing? They're slashing prices. Prices. And so what does that mean?
These these manufacturers going, uh-oh.
Well, here's what's going to happen.
It's like a chokeout.
You have Tesla slashing profits, slashing prices. What does that do for all the new entries that were already price set going into the marketplace? So you have your $7,500 if you qualify, Tesla dropping their prices, and then the markup that's in that vehicle. I've got people out there that I talked to this whole week, and I asked them one question. When an electric vehicle pulls up, because we don't even want it, but the offers that we're making, one of the guys was telling me he was at auction, and everything was $12,000 to $17,000 back of MMR going through auction, which is a Manheim market report. And he goes, he had 2 cars out there that he would have lost $15,000 a piece on. He brought them back to the dealership, and he can't sell them. So for a lot of people that are going to go from electrification to whatever,
I don't think
hold on to your vehicle.
Well, I don't think it matters if you go electric to electric. You're still going to lose the money. You're still going to lose. So you what you're fixing to say is if your EV's running good, you just want to step up, you might want to reconsider.
Yeah. Pay it off when your lease is up. Think about the decision you're going to make, because across the board, I had 2 people that had the Y model, which is Tesla's #1 model, and they bid it, and I called them up, and they went, "You're crazy." I said, "I'm not crazy. It's just what the market is." I don't design the market. I just try to point you in the right direction of what you should or shouldn't do. And like I said, I enjoyed the heck out of driving the Hummer. 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 pounds of torque. Unbelievable rig. I enjoyed the heck. The Tesla Y, love driving it. The EV9 over at Classic Kia Carrollton, love driving these vehicles. I enjoy the heck out of them. It's just not my lifestyle. That's all it is. But with $7,500 incentive money, less the markup, let's just say we'll call it even $10,000 from sticker, then depreciation. Where are you now on your vehicle? And so you have to put at least 25% down from where the original MSRP was to not be upside down when you go to trade that vehicle. Fact. And where do you go trade your Tesla in? Great question. 214-787-1190. And good morning to Aunt Donna. And Aunt Donna was here for the week, and we got to see her for Easter. And I got to tell you what, Aunt Donna doesn't have a bad day. Aunt Donna is responsible for how beautiful my home looks. She spent the whole day with us picking everything out. Everything in our house, Aunt Donna picked out, from the picture over there to that one to our mirrored leopard.
Yeah, we're doing home studio today, so that's why he's pointing out these things right now. And if you're on the radio, what he's talking about.
Yep. And so Aunt Donna was with us for Easter, and Melinda was so excited. I said, what are we doing for Easter? I said, we always go out to the farm, to my niece's farm.
Right.
She goes, nope, Aunt Donna's coming in. Everybody was there, the whole family, all my kiddos, grandkiddos, and everybody got to love on Aunt Donna. Have a safe trip back home. And she's going back to the home of the Masters.
Wow.
Augusta, Georgia.
When is that? This week? Next week?
This week. Yep. So love you, Aunt Donna, and it was nice seeing you. And
I'm surprised you don't have her here while they're doing the reconstruction in your kitchen. I bet she'd get that thing done real quick.
Oh, Aunt Donna be done with it. Let me just tell you, when you go shopping with Aunt Donna, she took over Nebraska Furniture. She took over the whole store. I'm telling you, we went to every department pulling things out and grabbing things, and we left there with 3 cartfuls.
You look like a homeless guy with a cart with all this packaged stuff in it.
I did. Then we went to the dock and loaded up the back of the truck. Yeah, we did. But she
knows how to do it, though.
That's right. Hey, when we get back to wrap up the show here on 1190 KFXR, before we flip over to 97.1 The Freak, I'm going to tell you what the hottest market is for trade-ins right now. So all the reports that are out on, I don't know if you can see this, but I subscribe to Automotive News.
I'll get it close. Hang on. See
Here
what
we
happens.
go. So we have Automotive News. This is what I go to and get a lot of information with 6 other subscriptions that I have. And I kind of compile everything, because some people, remember, most of the stuff that you read about is opinions. It's not fact. It's opinions. When you go through here and you just, let's just take one article. It says, as an involuntary and unattended experiment, it had a few precedents, and this is inventory danger, but it's unlike, kind of suspicious, unlearned, unlessoned. Everything is adverbs and verbs and adjectives. There's no fact to it.
It's just their
a lot of these
opinion
articles.
of what they feel about it.
And so here, at a time when some automakers are rethinking product strategies, opinion, this company will give possible big investments that might strengthen its opinion. So I put all 6 of these articles together and just kind of start trying to find an average of what's out there, but then I do my own online research with the dealer to bring you the information that we're bringing you. And so I've compiled some really good information for the hottest spot in today's trade-in market. And we'll cover that and a little bit more as we get things wrapped up here on 1190 KFXR before we flip over to 97.1 The Freak, the sister station. So with that, let's take a quick break, introduce you to some more sponsors, and we'll be right back.
And Facebook. Want to let you know, too, that we will shut down the system. We will shut down everything to move over to 97.1 FM The Freak. We switch our Comrex unit over. We will shut down the live feed for Facebook and YouTube, but we'll be back. We're just going to reboot it. So I hope that you'll come back and join us. You'll probably get another invitation if you'll see it, but hope you'll come back and be a part of the broadcast as we get back on with the show, because we'll be covering some different stuff. Might cover a couple things in the past of this past show, but we will be talking new stuff as well. So you want to make sure you get back on with us and be a part of that. So I just want to let you know what's happening. So when we shut down, we will be back from 8 to noon on Talk Radio, 97.1 The Freak. So, and we do appreciate each and every one of you. And it's been really great to see all these locations. Isn't that sweet?
Yep.
Been a big change for the show over the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Yep.
When we just had radio. But I don't know if you heard me a while ago, but I told them that they could, if they have a speaker in their home, like the Alexa or the Siri or whatever, you can just say, Alexa, go to 97.1 FM The Freak.
Yep.
And it goes right to it. There's a little short commercial right before it, but then all of a sudden we're there. So
Yeah,
it's
I
that
don't.
easy. I know you don't subscribe to that, but I do.
You got Alexa in your house?
Sure do. Got Echo in the other room too.
Boy, more Big Brother.
I asked Alexa the other day. I said, "Do you know Kurt Chase?" Yes, but I'm not allowed to repeat any of that information.
No doubt. That's because I've let her have it a few times.
Oh, I don't know. Listen, you don't think Big Brother knows what's going on anyway in your life?
Oh, yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine that worked for NASA for a long time. I had no idea how many satellites are up in space.
Unbelievable. What would they get a number?
He said tens of thousands.
I was going to say about 10,000, but tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And he said, just think that last mission that went up, they released 100 satellites.
Wow.
He said, then you got the satellite stations out there. You have one from several different countries, everybody watching everybody and sending signals out.
Well, just think of the signal that when you get in there and go GPS to where you're going.
Yeah.
I turn left here, or I turn right there on this street, turn down 2 blocks, turn that. I mean, that's insane to me that they know exactly where I'm at to make
inch by inch.
Inch by inch. And even know when you stop at a light.
Yep. And it drives me nuts when it goes, take a right, take a right. Look, you already told me one time to take a right. Stop with 2 and 3 times.
I wonder how many people talk to their people. So it's when they're in the car.
I yell at it.
Yeah.
I do. That stuff drives me nuts.
You told me once already. I don't need again. But
Yeah.
but a lot of people be reminded because they're on their phone or they're talking.
Yeah, I've had a few choice words, and I went, wait a minute, you're talking to a Mapsco.
Take this time to say thank you for flying with us today here on the AutomotiveEdge.com Flight 101. Please extinguish all cigarettes and cigars. Place your seats in the upright position and fasten your seatbelts. Please do not try to exit through the exit door.
3, 2, 1.
Warning. The information heard here on the Automotive Edge radio show may lead you to find a wealth of knowledge that could possibly save you time and money. If any of this information causes you to be bothered or upset, please sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and seek immediate help. Now, here's your host of the Automotive Edge radio show, Kurt Chase.
Thanks so much for joining us. 214-787-1190 is the number. Don't go away. We're going to shut everything down at 10 o'clock and reboot everything for the 97.1 The Freak FM here on our Facebook page, The Automotive Edge, Shifting Gears, Kurt's page, Bo's page, YouTube. All that's going to shut down, and we're going to reboot it for the 97.1 FM. So just jump back on here with us. This segment of the show is brought to you by Grapevine Ford, home of the love it or leave it promise. If you don't absolutely love that vehicle, when you get it home, bring it back, and Cameron Martin and his staff are going to put you in one they do love. They don't want you unhappy. They don't want you driving something that you have that epiphany or that V8 moment where you went, gosh, I wish I would have. If you get it home and you go, I wish I would have, go back, and they'll make that wish I would have a reality into the new vehicle. The place, Grapevine Ford, right between Texan Trail and Main Street on Highway 114. Our buddy Cameron Martin and his staff is ready to go. We had a fantastic March with Grapevine Ford. We had 11 people over there bought vehicles, and a bunch of people went through service and really appreciate it. I think Ralph Paul will be joining us here shortly. He had his truck over here, and he said it was like luxury service over there. They took good care of him. From sales to service and the love it or leave it promise, get your Ford from Grapevine Ford. Online all the time at grapevineford.com. So here's the hot spot. 3-year-old cars and newer are bringing all the money in the used car market. 3-year-old vehicles are bringing in the money. Why? Because the dealers can certify these cars. So you have Honda dealers and Toyota dealers and Ford dealers and Chevy dealers and Mazda dealers and Lexus dealers. They're all lined up. And when they see these 3-year-old cars that the miles are in line, they are buying them up and putting them on their lot and certifying them. Certified market is off the hook right now. Only buying, not leasing, buying certified. The lease programs are not good on certified pre-owned, but they're great on a purchase because you get a special interest rate because they certified it and they brought it to the standards that the manufacturers want it to be at in order to put the certification on it. And so that market, I had a guy say, well, I took this car into the dealer and they didn't give me hardly anything for it. But my wife's car, I was shocked what they gave me for it. And you know what? I said, what was it? He said, well, she had a 2019 with 48,000 miles on it. Wow. Boom, home run car. The dealers are going to put all the money in that. The older cars, not so much. And people are going, well, the older cars are bringing a lot of money. That's because cars get more expensive every year. The cash cars, what we call the $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 good, what we used to call it a cash corral at the dealerships I manage. All right, I always told them I want 10 cars in the cash corral, cars that were $10,000 or less. Those days are over. To find a good car like that, it needs to be mom or dad's or grandma or grandpa's. Those cash cars are gone. And the ones that are under that price all have, on average, get this, 175,000 miles. And if it's a make that just doesn't do real well, you may find it with lower miles on it. But it is amazing because the average transaction last month was $46,850. Think about that. What does that do? It brings up the price of the used car market as well. Just because used cars are selling for this much doesn't mean the used cars depreciated so much that they have cheap cash cars. And there's a lot of parents come May are going to be going, Kurt, I've saved $10,000. I need a car. I'm going, that's a great down payment. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? That's the sweet spot. That 2019, 2020, 21, with right miles, they are bringing the money. Everything from 19 lower, it comes down to two things: condition and miles, period. The first thing I do when I'm appraising a car is I look at the miles, and then I start looking at the car. I don't look at the car and then look at the miles. It plays a different mind game with you, but I look at the miles, and then I start going through the car, and it tells me how well you maintain that car. And I've seen cars. I looked at one the other day, 157,000 miles on it, and the guy goes, it can't be worth much. And this car was mint, and he drove the highway a bunch. So you figured there'd be rock abrasions or chips. I could not believe how clean this car was. I made 2 phone calls, and his wife came out and hugged me. She goes, I can't believe you gave us $6,000 more than we even thought the car was worth, because all they saw was the mileage. But this was a well-maintained car. They were doing the oil changes every 4,000 miles, had good tires on it, AC blew cold. It was a nice car. And I called a buddy of mine and said, hey, we found this car. That's too many miles. I'm like, you need to see this car. He bought it. So miles matter, condition matter. But the hot spot is at 2019 to 2021, 22. Some 18s can fall into there with average, let's say 10 to 12,000 miles. They are bringing a lot of money. Other than that, the rest of the models are changing. Not a bunch, but the values are dropping. 214, no.
Well, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Out of this station.
Okay, we're going to shut everything down. Don't go away. Everybody that's got join us on Facebook, we're going to be rebooting here. But for all the listeners, flip your dial to 97.1 FM The Freak. We're going to shut everything down. Take us just a couple of minutes, and we'll be back up and running. For those that are signing off, God bless you. Have a great weekend. Be sure to wear your glasses if you're watching the eclipse. And we'll be back next Saturday live, Burleson Nissan, 35 and Renfro Road. Have a great weekend.
Okay, Facebook, we're going to shut her down. We'll see y'all shortly, okay?